Hello, welcome in or welcome back to my channel. My name is Deb from DG Reads, and it is time to stuff my Kindle for my vacation. I am super excited and a little bit nervous to be heading for the first time to Africa. I am going to Zanzibar, which is the island off of Tanzania, and I'm going with Becca at Becca and the Books as part of her Trova trip. And I am super excited. Some of the people we're traveling with were on my Thailand trip with Becca, and we had so much fun together, and we started planning this trip during that trip. So it's been a long time coming, and also at the same time it's kind of snuck up on me somehow. Not sure how that works, but time is weird. But going on vacation means I need to put together a vacation TBR. Sure, I might try to take a few of the books that are on my actual July TBR, which is a little ambitious, I will admit. But honestly, when I'm on vacation, I want some good, quick reads, gripping reads, things that'll hold my attention while I'm traveling. I have about 24 hours of travel both directions. And even though we're going to be busy, we have lots of activities planned and stuff, I think we're going to have time to kind of sit by the pool and read also, or on the beach. So I want to have a lot of good options to take with me. So I'm going to go through what I'm currently thinking, but let's face it, anytime I go on vacation, there's going to be last minute scrambles to add extra stuff right before the plane takes off, basically. So things might shift, but I am looking forward to it. I will be vlogging my Zanzibar trip and having a blast. I have a couple of authors who at this point are a little bit of a travel tradition for me. Elise Kova being one of them. I binge read an entire 5-book series basically on my first Trova trip to Italy, and I have more than I need to get to. So I've read Air Awakens, which is a continuation or spin-off, I guess you would say. It's set in the same world as the previous series I had already read, and then decided I wanted to go back because I did enjoy it, but I wanted to get the context of the world a little bit better. I went back and read the first 5-book series, and now I do want to reread and then continue on in the series. So I have all 5 books downloaded onto my Kindle. Another author who is travel tradition is Karen McManus. Her YA thrillers tend to really grab my attention and hold on. For my last several trips, I've read one of her books on the way to my destination, and I think that will likely be the case again this time. The book I've downloaded from my library this time is Such Charming Liars. I really don't know anything about this. The reviews on Goodreads generally seem pretty good, and the blurb says, when mother-daughter grifters set out on their final job, the heist gets deadly and dangerously personal. So I will find out more once I actually read it. One that felt right for vacation for a horror experience is Out of Air by Rachel Rice. I actually did get the hardcover from the publisher, which is sitting all the way over there, and I'm being lazy and not picking it up. But I do have the library edition to go with me on my Kindle. This is a group of friends. They are getting together after high school. It's their last summer together. They go diving off an island in Australia and find a cave, but mysterious things kind of seem to come from this, whether it's a curse, whether it's something like that, I don't know. But underwater horror tends to work really well for me, and when I'm going to an island, it seems like the thing to read. Another fantasy that has recently come up on my holds from the library is Reign of Shadows and Endings by Melissa K. Roerick. This is the same author who wrote Lady of Darkness, which I binged and absolutely loved. And Claire at Claire's Neverland of Books has been encouraging me to pick this one up as well. And for some reason, one of my library systems doesn't have this one, but has all the rest of the books in the series. But I was able to finally get a hold to come through from my Libby app, and this one could go with me. I don't know too much going into this one. I think it has some minimal ties to the Lady of Darkness series, so I kind of want to go in blind and figure things out. It also is the first book in a quartet, which would help me out with my TBR for the hardest reading challenge you'll ever do, because I do need to start and finish a 4-book series within the next year, and I could count this as the first in that series. For a thriller, I have Last One Out by Steph Nelson. This is the author who wrote The Final Scene, which was absolutely wild and I loved it. So I've been keeping an eye out for her new release. This one came out in May. The audiobook just came out in June, and it sounds like a really good time. There's a woman named Chloe who went missing the same night her 2 friends were brutally murdered, and her cousin's never given up hope that she's alive, but it takes 25 years for her to come back and show up at her own memorial annual service. And I'm super intrigued to see what Steph Nelson brings us in this one. My last trip to Mexico, I was able to do a little bit of a series catch-up. Becca at Becca and the Books does a kind of unofficial read-along of the Pretty Little Liars series. We're actually getting pretty close to the end of this. but the books in the latter half of the series don't have audiobooks, which keeps putting me a little bit behind. So in June, I was meant to have read Crushed, and I haven't gotten to that yet. So that is definitely on my Kindle to catch up a little bit there. This series has gone off the rails multiple times, and I'm not loving the second half of the series as much as I was having a lot of fun in the first half of the series, but I do want to finish it. I'm so close to finishing the series, so that will be a good one. It doesn't take a lot of brain power. It's really an easy poolside read, so I think it's perfect to take with me. And while I'm thinking about series, there's a couple others that I definitely want to get to, and I started the Young Elites series in June and made it through the first book, possibly the second by the end of the month. I'm not at the end of the month yet, but my goal is to try to get to book 2. Either way, I have books 2 and 3 ready to go from the library to finish out this series, to feel a sense of accomplishment finishing something else. I really enjoy Marie Lu's writing. Her world is really intriguing. In this one, there was a fever that the kids who survived it came out of it with abilities, and there are kind of alliances between different ones. There's gangs almost against each other in here, and the first book ended with some twists and turns, and I'm eager to continue. One that's on my official TBR for the month, but I think would be perfect to take with me, is Throne of Ice and Blood. This is the second book following Empire, Flame, and Thorns, which I really, really enjoyed. It was brain candy vibes reading, and I'm hoping book 2 will be the same. Book 3 in the series, which I'm blanking on what the title of that one is coming out in June, end of June, as I recall, so I may be able to get that one downloaded as well if it's also on Kindle Unlimited when it releases. But the first book was a quick binge read. We've got dragon shifters, we've got interesting kind of magical trials, things going on, and the book ended with a huge twist that definitely has me intrigued to see where book 2 is going to take it. In terms of e-arcs that I have, there's one in particular that I'm thinking will be a good vacation read, and that is How Bad Things Can Get by Darcy Coates. I love a Darcy Coates book. They are so engaging. They have me instantly hooked most of the time, and I tend to find reading them on my Kindle is the absolute best way to go. So I think that might be the case with this one as well. I've only read the blurb, and it sounds perfect to take to Zanzibar. It says, the Blair Witch Project meets Firefest in this bloody new thriller from the Queen of Scares, Darcy Coates. It was supposed to be the party of the century, miles of idyllic white sand beaches, lush jungle foliage, and a dark legend nobody dreamed might be all too true. So I think the setting of Zanzibar will work quite well for this one. I do have 2 buddy read books that I'm absolutely taking with me on vacation, neither of which am I expecting to finish on vacation, but Jonathan Strange and Mr. Norrell by Susanna Clark will be going with me. I'm buddy reading this with some friends, but it's 1,000 pages long, so we're doing a certain number of pages or chapters a day approach, and I want to keep up with that. And then about a week, actually exactly a week after I'm supposed to touch back down from my vacation, we have the Faith Follow Along live show for Wrath, and it's not super small. So I don't want to be trying to binge read this while super jet lagged after I get home and catching up at work and everything else. So I'm hoping to at least be able to make a good start on this on my travels home at the end of the trip. So with all of that, I have a lot of good options, but I feel like maybe I'm missing some things. Maybe there's some ideas you could share with me. Anything you think I could grab super quick from KU or from the library, something that's maybe been out a little bit longer so my library won't have a wait on it, or something that Hoopla might have. Let me know if you have any suggestions down below, because I'm always looking to make sure my Kindle is absolutely as stuffed as possible when I go on vacation, because I like to have options. That's the important thing to me. I may go really off the rails with what I've even indicated here is on my TBR. Who knows? But I am so excited for vacation. I can't wait to meet some new people, see some familiar faces, and catch up with my Thailand friends and have an absolutely amazing trip. So if you have any recommendations for me, please leave them in the comments below, or let me know if you've read any of these books. Are there any other things that you like to take on vacation for reading purposes? Let me know all the things. And if you've made it this far and you don't have anything to comment, leave me an emoji that makes you think of the beach for my beachy vacation plans. If you could hit that like button below, I would surely appreciate it, and subscribe if you're interested in my travels, in my book reviews, and my bookish content in general. But for now, I will leave you here and see you real soon in a new video.